Hello, everybody. This is Jessica Riverson with Permission to Charge, and we are so excited to be here today to share a success story. We've got Jen Liddy here. Hey, Jen.
Hi, Jessica.
Thanks for being here. I'm excited to have you here.
Thank you for having me on. I'm thrilled to talk to you.
Yes. Okay. So we're going to just dive right in. We've got a lot of juicy stuff to share. So just wanted to first of all, I'll let Jen introduce herself in just a second, but I want to tell you why I really wanted to bring Jen here. And by the way, if you're watching this video, I see we have one viewer already. Go ahead and post in the comments if you could let us know, what your name is. We can't see who you are, but if you post in the comments, we'll be able to see who you are and maybe what city you live in, what type of coach you are. Just give us some info so we know who's here with us. And hello to all the replay viewers, because I know many of you are watching this on replay. Or will be. And if you're on my business page right now, please go ahead and like the page. I noticed the other day we're getting close to 5,000 likes, which is some kind of milestone in the Facebook world. So please do like my page while you're here hanging out with us. And I wanted to bring Jen Liddy here on this call today because I think she's such a shining example of a woman, a mom, entrepreneur, coach who really has done the work on herself, on her business, has been totally coachable. Oh, Heather's here. Awesome. Hey, Heather. Great. Glad you're here. She's been, so Jen's been totally coachable. And I think she's just such a great example of someone who like pulled up her sleeves and just went for it. And it's just amazing what she's created in a short period of time. So Jen is a Permission to Charge Academy graduate. Jen, you were just a joy to work with the whole time. It's just awesome.
Thank you.
I mean, I love all my clients, but I just, what I love about you, Jen, is that you really were open. And again, you ask questions. I always say the person who asks the most questions, gets the best results. Sherry's here. Sherry's in the academy. Awesome. So this is good because people that are either already in the academy or have heard about it, they're going to get to see what the process is like and kind of what it takes, what kind of person you need to step up and become to get the results. Patty's here. She says she can't wait to hear what you have to say. Yes, and Patty's in the academy, and Patty is a very similar niche to you in some ways because she's like a business success coach. So I told her she had to show up and hear an interview with you, Jen, too. So let's just dive right in. So Jen, just tell everybody what you do and who you do it for.
Okay. Hi, I'm Jen Liddy. I am an accountability and mindset coach. So I started out as just an accountability coach, and I would work with people who had a goal to reach. And it was all very vague and broad last year. What would happen was I would get 3 weeks into working with them, and I would hold them accountable. And then at week 3, every single client would hit a wall. So I realized that I had to start bringing in the mindset piece because you can't just hold people accountable to do something. You have to find out why they're not able to do it. So I brought in my expertise from a personal development class that I had been teaching at a community college, basically helping people understand what their scripts are or what their mindset blocks are. And I just merged the two, and over the course, I started in kind of December of 2016. By the time I started the academy, it was late May, early June. And then I just kind of created a program that melded accountability and mindset to help people achieve their goal in 90 days.
Awesome. So that's perfect segue. Let's talk about that. So when you came in the academy, so let me back up for a second. The whole theme of this month in our Permission to Charge community has been mastering your message. And yes. I know with working with you, that was the first thing we did. We got into target market. So you wanted to create a program, you want to be able to charge, the value that you were delivering and really be able to have this be a profitable business. And so we did the target market research to really understand, okay, Jen, who are you really serving? And then to create messaging that would really just sing music to their ears. And I really feel that's what happened. It's like we recrafted your messaging, and then you went back out into the marketplace and there was like a different response. I'd love to hear about like how that process was for you. Did you have doubts during the process? Was it, was it a struggle to figure out the messaging? Like, you can just be totally honest, because there's ups and downs in the process.
Well, honesty is not my problem. I'm happy to be honest. I struggled with the part of, first of all, what to charge. So your program really appealed to me because, so to be brutally honest, I started this not knowing anything, right? So I just knew I was organized, and I knew I'm really good at holding people accountable and holding space for them. That's all I knew. So I was charging $60 an hour. And at that rate, I couldn't, I know. I know, but there were people out there who were like, who are you to even charge that much? I live in an area where people don't want to pay for stuff like that. And I live in central New York, and the people here are like, $60 an hour, that's amazing. But I knew I couldn't make a living doing that. And it was something I was new at. So I had a lot of doubt, a lot of imposter syndrome. How am I helping people? What am I doing? So by the time I met you, I had eked my way up to $85 an hour, but I was still trading dollars for hours. And you can't live on that if you're coaching people one-on-one. So when I got to you and your program, I not only was able to think about, you helped me get over my imposter syndrome, first of all. You helped me put a program together so that I could actually feel like I was really bringing value. And I was able to kind of wrap my head around who was I helping and how was I helping them. So before it was like, well, I can hold you accountable. But then I started to do the target market research, and I really figured out what people need. What they told me is they feel isolated, they feel confused, they feel like they have a lack of confidence. And this is regardless of what their goal is. So whether they want to lose weight, or they want to improve their relationship or their time management, or they want to improve their business, because I don't see myself as a business coach. All of them were saying, I feel alone. I feel like nobody understands me. I feel confused. I know what I want, but I don't know how to get there. And also, I don't know why I can't do this. So they were beating themselves up. So I took all of the information. I spent my summer doing a lot of target market research and asking the questions that you guys provide in Permission to Charge. I just used those questions and I tweaked them to myself. I still use them actually on my discovery calls and my first session with my clients, because it tells me everything that they need. I'm not ever putting words into their mouth, and they always say the same thing. I feel alone, I feel confused, I feel scattered, and I don't know why.
Yeah.
Does that answer your question?
Totally. And I know one of the things was you ended up narrowing in on mamapreneurs.
I did. Yep.
So not just business owners, but mamapreneurs.
Yes. And so I put together a program. So I kind of created from your program, I kind of created two programs. One is my one-on-one coaching session, which is called Get Shit Done. And in that program, it's a 12-week program that works. It's really personalized, but it's a 12-week program that works to get you the thing you want. And basically, I show up every week and I check in where you are, and then I pull out one of my tools to get you digging deeper into it, and you move through the 12 weeks toward your goal. That's one-on-one. The group coaching that I wanted to do to scale, I focused in on mamapreneurs, and then I kind of maybe went more 500 feet more up to solopreneurs, because I just found that in the area, not everybody has kids. So the word mamapreneurs, and actually a lot of the women who do have businesses and have kids, they don't necessarily identify with that word. So solopreneurs is a word that people seem to be identifying with more.
So you shifted after you discovered that.
Yes.
So do you guys see how she's always listening to her ideal client and shifting the language? I know that when we created the sales page that talks about the group program, you just nailed everything that they were, feeling about where they're at in their business. And we even figured out how much money they would just love to make every month. Yeah. So we found out if they could just make $5K a month in their business, they'd be thrilled. And so we actually put that into the messaging. So what I would love to know is, as you went back out into your area, networking and speaking and meeting people, and you started using this new messaging, what did you find? How was that for you to like get discovery sessions booked? I mean, I don't know how many discovery sessions you were getting before the program, but I think it wasn't as many as.
Well, I can give you some numbers. Do you want some numbers?
Yeah,
I know you love your
numbers.
stats. I know you love your stats. Okay, so before summer of 2017, before I started working with you guys, I had 11 clients. They were all in one-on-one sessions, and I was getting paid about $60 to $85 per hour. And so those were 11 clients. After creating my program with you, that was just the one-on-one program because the group program starts next month. I enrolled 11 different clients, so 11 new clients in the 12-week program, and you still thought I was not charging enough, which I know that I'm not. I was charging $1,200 for a private, 3-month private group.
But that's a huge step up from before.
It was like I went from $60 per hour to $1,200 for 6 weeks, which was a huge shift for me and my mindset. And you coached me a lot through that to know that I did bring value. And so I went from having 11 clients at 60 to 11 completely different clients at 1,200. And now I've raised my price for the program because I've learned so much, and I feel like now is the time to raise my price because I get what my clients need so much more. I get the arc of the program so much more. Like I understand them, their qualities, and what they need from me. And also I just constantly become a better coach, right? So I feel like it's time to raise my prices. So I did raise my price to $2,100 for in-person one-on-one coaching. So that's almost double. That was big for me.
Congrats.
And so I have out of my 11 clients from the summer, I've got 5 new clients. Some are returning, but I have 5 new clients at that $2,100 rate.
Nice. Oh, I didn't know that. Congrats.
Mm-hmm.
So you generated 10K and then you created the group program and started filling that program.
Yes. So the group program is local to my Central New York market, and my goal is for early winter 2018 that will be an online program. And I will enjoy that, but it's not that I want to be a business coach. The Thriving Solopreneur, which is what it's called, is designed to help people with 4 aspects of business that women are generally afraid of. Who's my target market? How do I network? How do I market in a way that feels good to me? And how do I sell in a way that doesn't feel yucky? And every time I say those things in that way to people, they're like, oh my God, yes, are you in my head? Get out of my head. And that's just because that's what they told me, right? So those are the 4 like hard things. But then there's all this soft stuff that they need help with too, which is money mindset, believing in themselves, confidence, just having the verbiage. And I know that once they find their target market, they're going to get their verbiage. And once they have their program together, they'll be able to change their money mindset. Like I know that they're all intertwined. So I have enrolled out of 8 people, I have 4 people and a couple more discovery calls to do for that program that starts October 2nd.
Awesome. Congratulations. So now you guys, she got booked up. Now she has a group program that's leveraged. She's running it local first, totally cool. And then she can put those modules and those trainings online, and it can eventually be an online program. So, everyone can do things in their own way at their own pace. Karen says, I'm not sure if I've done enough market research. How did you do yours? So I'll give you kind of the quick thing. We go a lot more in depth in the academy, but basically you need to talk to people who, I think this is the hardest part actually, is that if you don't have a clue who it is before you do the target market research, you're going to do target market research on a bunch of random people, and then you'll get a bunch of random information. So you need to narrow it down. Jen knew it was like these women, they were solopreneurs, they were kind of doing their business as like a side business that they, a lot of them did have kids and were moms, maybe not all of them, but she decided who she wanted to interview first. And that's, I think, a key piece. And that's kind of where people go wrong, is they'll just kind of interview everybody. And that doesn't work. You've got to be specific. Any tips on your target market research for Karen, Jen? It worked really well. Did you talk to people on the phone, or did you just do surveying?
It was easier to talk to them in person because people are always up for a coffee date. You know, people made time for me, and I have a really lovely, warm market here of people who know me and trust me. So I just reached out. I made a list of I knew I wanted to work with women who have a passion project of some sort, and that were generally running it like a hobby that was costing them money. And I knew that because I had done that myself for 4 years. So I wanted to help women who generally women don't want to invest in themselves. And so I wanted to talk to them about why and where they were struggling. Was I alone? I found out I wasn't alone. So I took people out for coffee. I had the best conversations face to face. I had a couple of really good conversations over the phone, and anything I kind of did via email was less useful. And I didn't bother with any kind of Survey Monkey or anything like that. So I really reached out to my warm market.
Yeah. And oftentimes when you do that, those people later become your client.
That did happen.
Yeah. So that's something in the academy I always tell people, take the target market research seriously, because those people often will say at the end or later on in the process, like, well, can you help me?
Oh my God, well, I want to work with you.
Yeah, they're like, I want to work with you. So that's a huge part of it. So so this is kind of how the academy goes. Target market research, create your program, and even if you're someone like Jen who already had clients, we have some people who are totally new and some people who have already had their business and they already have clients, but it's about, doing like a makeover on your programs and pricing. And so she did that. And then we get into sales. So I would love to share, or for you to share any, I know you worked a lot with Kwaku on your own sales conversations, getting discovery, how to get discovery sessions, and then how to conduct those discovery sessions and enroll people and have people enroll and pay on the spot, essentially. I mean, that's what we want to have happen. So anything you can share about the journey of becoming better and better at these enrollment conversations, because I feel like you're really good now.
Yeah, I don't actually dread them at all. I have a template that I created from what Kwaku and I talked about. So I know that in the beginning what's going to happen. I know the questions I'm going to ask. I know when to ask more questions of them. I know when to give my own experience. I feel like they go successfully because they're always very client focused, and I don't put pressure on myself. Like, it doesn't mean I suck if the person is not ready to buy or if the program is not right for somebody. And I also don't sell the program if it's not a good fit for that person. So there's two things I want to share. I'm going to go back to your question in a minute, but last week I was doing a discovery call with somebody who from my Thriving Solopreneur program. And she is really struggling with her purpose right now. She's in the middle of a business and she's not sure if she wants to stay. And my program is going to be right in the middle of some stuff that she's dealing with. And so I said, I actually think that this program, if you bought it today, that it would help you, but it's not what I want to sell you right now. I think we need to do like a VIP morning and do a really deep dive to figure out your purpose. And she was totally into that.
Awesome.
I know. So she took me up on that so that we can get to her purpose. Because if she got into this program and she doesn't even know what her purpose is, she would have wasted like $1,800. And I didn't want her to do that. So that's the first thing. The second thing is I don't feel yucky about getting on these calls because I don't feel like I'm aggressive. I don't feel like sales. I don't feel like I'm doing sales. I feel like, oh my God, I know you. And I know you have a problem that I can help you with because I was there. And so I feel like it's an opportunity to help somebody. It's not like, I'm not shoving anything down anybody's throat, and I don't take it personally if it's not a good fit for them. So I think those two things have helped switch my mindset about sales, in that I'm not like, hey, here I am. It's more like, hey, there you are, and I see you, and I know that I can help you. So
I love that.
Yeah, that helps me a lot.
That's huge. And I love that you're in a place where you're the expert, you're the authority. Someone's coming to you for a discovery session and you're confident enough in yourself and in your own offerings to say, I'd love for you to be in this program, but I don't think it's going to give you all what you need. What I really see that can support you is this VIP day offering. And like, that's, to me, that's like so exciting, because it takes a while to get to the point where we as coaches stand in our power. And like you said, like kind of, say, I see you. I love how you describe that. Like, I see you. And you're almost like showing like holding up a mirror for the client to say, I see you. I see where you're struggling. And like, I'm holding this container of space. This is my program. Like, I can help you, like, step into this. And yeah, I mean, I just know that that's a process. And I love seeing Academy members go through that process in like 10 weeks versus what I feel is like 10 years, because some of you guys don't know this, but I was a coach for 10 years for another company, but I didn't get paid. Like, it was basically my hobby for 10 years. And then starting my business, 2 or 3 years of really not being able to do what Jen just shared. Like, that's why I tell people at the beginning of the program, you're going to become a different person. You're going to become like this new version of yourself. And there's a really good analogy that I first heard from Angelique Ruers. It was an article I read of hers. She's more in like corporate training world, but she said, do you want, she said, when you order a pizza, you call up and the pizza delivery boy goes, what do you want on your pizza? And you tell them what you want. When you go to the doctor's office, you don't go, I want you to take my tonsils out, and then I want you to take my bladder out. No, like, the doctor says, okay, I'm going to examine you. I'm going to diagnose. I'm going to understand what's going on with you, and then I'm going to prescribe. And that's like a different level of authority that we get to as coaches, where we're confident in enough in ourselves and our offerings to be able to essentially kind of diagnose, like, here's what I see is going on for you. I feel you. I hear you. I know this problem well, because this is exactly, like, you're exactly my ideal client of who I am specialized in serving. I have something that can help you. And I think, like, it's just beautiful that you're at that point. And for everyone listening, that's kind of the goal. Like, when you're at that point, then you can really grow and expand as an authority in your niche. Mm-hmm. So I love it. So you had shared with me something before we started about your enrollment call with Kwaku. So there was, I'm just going to kind of preface it with, when Jen and I were working on her program, her group program that's leveraged, I suggested that she not put the price on her information page, so that she could actually have a conversation with people, make sure they're the right fit, and then offer the program. It's not like a $297 program. It's not a $497 program. It's an investment. And so I suggested that she not remove the price, and then I'll let you share what you had told me about, like, your whole enrollment process and, what you learned about that.
So when Kwaku called me, he called me, and between the time that I saw your webinar and I hit discovery call, I was panicking. I was like, I'm not ready for this. I'm going to be a pain in the ass to them. They don't want to work with somebody like me. I'm not at the point where they need, like, I don't need them yet. Like, I was so in denial. And then he got on the phone with me. He spent 2 hours on the phone with me, and it didn't feel like he was rolling me or selling me. It was like he was talking to me and he was getting to know me. And I just felt comfortable with him because he's Kwaku. Like, you feel comfortable with him immediately. He's funny and he got my sense of humor, and I just loved him immediately. And we spent a long time on the phone talking about what my needs were. Like, he really understood who I was, where I was, and he made me feel like, no, this is a great program for you. You are ready for this. And then he told me the price. And I was like, what? No, I can't ever spend that much money on myself. And then he said, okay, well, if that's not an option. And I said, it's not that I don't think you're worth it, because what you're offering is clearly worth this much money. You'll bring incredible value to me. And it's not that I don't need it, because I know that I do. I've never invested in myself like this. And that's why my last business did the way it did. But I don't have that much money in my account right now. And I did not want to ask my husband for it. I didn't want to have a conversation with my husband. Like, I really wanted to do this for myself with my business. So I looked, while I'm talking to Kwaku, I open up my phone that has my account information on it. And he's like, well, we have another option. You can have 2 payments. And I was like, I don't have that much in there. And then he says, or you can do 3 payments. And I looked, And I had enough for that first payment. And like I would have like $50 left in my business account. And I was like, you know what? And I told him that. And he's like, well, if that's not the universe saying that this is a good fit, then I don't know what is. And I'm like, oh my God, dude, you just are so speaking my language. So I signed up. I had no idea how I was going to pay the next 2 payments that were going to come 4 and 8 weeks later. No idea. But I knew that I was going to get right to work, and I hustled my ass off to make it work. So like I sold my Lululemon clothing that I don't wear anymore, and I like got more clients, and I just like I hustled, and every single time I had the money in my account to make it happen. And not only did I have the investment for the program, I doubled that. I never would have doubled that investment without like the help and the coaching and the information. So that is like A. B. A. B, I tell people this story on my discovery calls, because at the end they're inevitably like, oh my God, I have to talk to my husband. I have to ask permission. Blah, 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 blah. And I was like, you know what? I totally get where you are, because that was me at the end of May. And I tell them this whole story. And I tell them, and I'm selling something at a lower price point, but I'm like, but it's a lot for them. It's a lot, for sure.
Yeah, it's all relative, really.
Exactly. And I tell them the numbers and I tell them everything, and they're always like stunned. And I'm like, I did this, you guys, and I tripled what I have made since that investment. So I'm not telling you this because it's bullshit. I'm telling you this because if I can do it, literally anybody can do it. And so it has become part of my conversation with people when I'm trying to coach them through feeling like they need permission to spend this money on themselves. And what I'll say to them is, how much do you talk to your husband about this issue? And they're like, oh my God, he's so sick of hearing me complain about it. Or, oh my God, he's so sick of me being stressed. And I'm like, wouldn't he love it if you didn't go to him for this nonsense anymore? If you had a coach and you had a community who you could get this from? And they're like, huh, I never thought of it that way. So that I use it so much. And then the third piece of the story is, I didn't tell my husband that I was doing this at all while I was doing it. I just told him I was taking a class because I really wanted it to be mine. Plus he's a business coach and I did not want any nonsense from him. So I told him about 3 weeks ago, I'm like, I have to tell you this thing. I invested this much money and this is what I did and this is what it got me. And he's like, oh my God, you're such a badass ninja. I can't believe that you did that. That's amazing. So a good response. Yeah, it was a great response. It was a great response. So it has helped me in every area of my life to have invested and then to have been on the other side where I now have to convince somebody else that investing is not, it's not for me. Like there'll be another client for me. But wouldn't your life be better if you got this for yourself?
Right. Oh, I love that. I love that. You're so right. That's the attitude that you get in. Like when you have the right message and now it's easier to get discovery sessions and you know you're getting discovery sessions, you know you're going to enroll people because you have been. Mm-hmm. It's easier for you to be like, look, this isn't about me. I'm going to have another discovery session. I'm going to have another person in my program. This program is going to get full. Mm-hmm. This conversation is about you and what it would mean for you to invest in yourself and create the results that you want. I love that. Like that is absolutely amazing. So yeah, you had shared something with me when we were working on the sales page and I was like, I think you should remove the price. By the way, I just have to say, Jen wanted to charge 3 times less than what I told her I thought she should charge. I don't really tell people what to charge, but I give you guys ranges. Okay. And so she was going to charge a certain amount. And I was like, look, this is worth this much, mm-hmm. And, you kind of took it in and you came back and you were like, you're right. It is worth that. And so we decided not to put the price, on the sales page, and just the best way to enroll a client into a high-end program, you guys, is through a conversation. Mm-hmm. So I advise, unless you're selling something that's like $297 or $497 or even $997, maybe that's when, maybe a sales page is okay. But what I like to just do is have an information page about your program. If you want, you actually don't have to have that. But if you want to have a sales page that shows the information, just put an apply now button. And that person can click on the button and go to your schedule. Because Jen, you told me, you were like, Jessica, if you had said the price on your webinar, I would have just disqualified myself and I would have never booked the call.
That's
and
right.
And that will happen to every single person here listening. Is so many of us, we don't think we're worth it. We don't think we're ready. We don't believe what's possible. It's scary. It's scary to invest. It just is. So
it was more than possible, and it made me so much better. And I would have discounted myself, exactly like what you said. I would have taken myself out of the running because I would have seen the price and be like, oh, that's not in my ballpark.
Yeah. Well, I just absolutely love you, Jen. I so appreciate you willing to be able to share your journey with everyone listening. It's just been an honor to have you here. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me and asking me these questions. I loved it.
Absolutely. So I don't want to take too much more of your time. If anyone has any burning questions for Jen, I am going to share the link. I think what I'm going to do is go ahead and share the link in our Facebook group to her program. I want you to check it out. I want you, not only for yourselves, because you may be listening and thinking, oh my gosh, I'm a perfect fit for Jen's program. So check out her program. Also look at it from the perspective of a business person. The copy is great. She is speaking directly to her ideal client through the messaging on that page. And that's the words and the lingo and the story that she tells on that page is what she's been using when she verbally talks to people in her community. And that's what's been working for her. So if you take nothing away from this whole training, it's that you've got to master your message. That's like the first thing that we do in the academy is nail that down, because it's very, very critical. And I just want you to see what she's accomplished. And, maybe you'll read it and go, oh my God, I need to get into this program, and you can get on Jen's calendar. So check that out. I'll put it in the Permission to Charge Community Facebook group so you can see what she's created. And I don't see any other major questions here. So I think we're good. I think we did good. I hope you guys all got a lot out of this. If you are needing support and you've been watching us for a while, reach out, permissiontochargeprograms.com/schedule. Get on our calendar, talk to the infamous Kwaku, my husband, connect with him. We won't offer you anything that we don't believe. If we don't think that you can get amazing results, we'll either refer you to someone else or maybe to a different program. And just what Jen said is the truth. We only want to work with people that we know we can help. So it's kind of no obligation conversation. permissiontochargeprograms.com/schedule. We'd love to talk to you. And thank you, Jen, for being here. Your inspiration
for having me.
Entrepreneurs. Keep kicking butt. I know that you will. I can't wait to talk to you like in a few months from now even and see what else magic you've created.
Thanks, Jessica.
All right. Bye, everybody. Thanks for being here.
Bye. Thank you.